Game begin.
I think the first video game I played was Super Mario Brothers. As for arcade game, the first game I played was Street Fighter 2. The character that I loved to use most was Ken. That was actually the main reason why I wanted to build my own machine, so that I can relive that memory.
There's nothing more Singaporean than the spaces Singaporeans live in. Colloquially, we call them HDBs. And under these HDBs are gems you might not have known existed. This is the story of one of them in the community of Marsiling.
Hi, I'm KJ. I'm the founder of Retrocade. I started building retro arcade machines about 5 years ago in 2016. So what makes Retrocade, this arcade building workshop, stands out, I think, is that I don't know of any other workshops that let you build your own arcade machine. How I got started was when one of my friends told me that a lot of people are using the Raspberry Pi to build retro arcade machines in the States. And I thought to myself that I need to do that because as a kid I played a lot on the arcade machines. Building the first arcade machine took a while. To get the wood cut, it's not easy, so you have to source around. The next difficult part that I had no clue about was how to wire up the buttons. So I had to buy a full controller online, dismantle it, look at how it works, and I actually used back all the components from that set. After that, it was easier once I figured out how it was done. So this was actually the second machine that I built. Then I found an old sewing machine on Carousel. I got it for really cheap and I use it as a base. So this has two screens. In the past, I think there were some arcade machines where you don't see who you're playing against because you're seated across each other. So this was taken from that idea. This is an arcade machine in a briefcase form factor. The idea was to build something that's easier to store. So you can open it up. It's an actual working machine that you can play on it. So as I started to build more machines, I was thinking whether I could make it simpler to build because every build takes me a couple of days. So I designed the machines in such a way that they are much easier to build. Then I think my brother was saying, hey, actually this could be a DIY kit. You can have people just building it for themselves. And we talk about how we can maybe have people come and build in a workshop setting. So the workshops are priced per machine. So if the 2P machine is this price, you can bring 3-4 people come. At the beginning when I was selling the machines, people who buy are usually guys around my age. They just want to play the games, it's a big part of their childhood. So when I started to do the workshops, I realized that it's a very different demographics. So the very first workshop that I had, I think half were ladies and they were maybe mid to late 20s. So these people, they are not gamers per se. I mean, they enjoy gaming, but they were looking really more of an activity to do. I think this place is good for workshop because it's very convenient. It's easy to come to because the MRT station is so near. So you have coffee shop where you can get your lunch. You got everything you want. When people come for their workshops, they were always a little bit surprised that it's such a place. And then when they come up, they realize, hey, this is very different. Some people tell me, it has an underground feel to it, there's a speakeasy vibe to it. So I think it's a nice touch using the HDB shophouse as a workshop space. Some of my most memorable customers are tourists. So one of them was a pilot from Middle East. He was stopping over for just one day. And that midnight, I received an email. He was like, he's just here for a day. He asked me whether I could slot him somewhere. And the next morning he came and then he built the machine. He was very happy. Then there are also different local customers. One of them, the wife told me that it was their 5th wedding anniversary. There's diamond, there's crystal, so 5 years was good. They wanted to do something thematic. So they came and then they built their own machines and brought it back. I think that the retro games are a lot simpler. So you can turn it on, go in and play for 5, 10, 15 minutes. It's still very enjoyable. Whereas I think a lot of modern games now, they require a lot of time investment. You sit down there for 1-2 hours. Whereas when you play physically with another person, you joke about it, but there's no hard feelings because it's really just a game. People just want to enjoy it. I think I will continue Retrocade as long as there are people who wants to build their machines. I'm also looking for new things to build. So they could be different form factors for the arcade machine. I built some digital jukeboxes, some music players. So it's all about that, making new things and having fun.